What if I told you that some of Hollywood's biggest black stars were living double lives, shining under the spotlight while hiding who they really were behind closed doors? In an industry obsessed with image and reputation, being gay wasn't just risky, it could destroy everything they worked for. So, they smiled for the cameras, dated who they were told to, and buried their truth deep enough to survive. But secrets never stay buried forever. Here are 20 black actors who hid that they were gay. 20. Colman Domingo. Colman Domingo built a powerful reputation through his unforgettable performances in Fear the Walking Dead and Rustin. But long before he became a household name, he kept his private life carefully hidden. In Hollywood, where every personal detail can make or break a career, he chose silence. For years, few knew he had quietly married his longtime partner, Raul. Colman once lived in fear that being open about his truth would overshadow his craft. It wasn't until he gained confidence in his artistry that he finally stopped hiding. His story shows how even the most talented actors once had to protect who they loved just to survive in a judgmental industry. 19. Meshel Ndegeocello. Meshel Ndegeocello has always walked her own path, bold, soulful, and impossible to label. In the 90s, she shook the music world with her raw honesty and deep artistry. But behind the stage lights, she stayed private about her sexuality for a long time. The entertainment industry wasn't kind to women who defied expectations, especially black women who didn't fit traditional molds. So Meshel kept parts of herself hidden, letting her music speak when she couldn't. Over time, she embraced her truth publicly, showing strength and peace that inspired many others. Her journey proved that silence was once a shield, but authenticity became her freedom. 18. Bessie Smith. Bessie Smith, known as the Empress of the Blues, broke barriers long before Hollywood accepted powerful black women. In the early 20th century, she ruled the stage with her thunderous voice and fearless attitude. But behind her fame, she kept her romantic life a mystery. Stories whispered of her relationships with both men and women. Yet in her time, such truths could end a career, or worse. So Bessie hid her heart from the public eye, using her songs to express what she couldn't say aloud. Her music carried the pain of secrets and the strength of survival in a world that never allowed her full truth to shine. 17. Wentworth Miller. Wentworth Miller captured millions with his role in Prison Break, but behind the camera, he was fighting a quiet war within himself. Born to a black father and white mother, he already faced identity struggles that deepened under fame's pressure. For years, he denied rumors about his sexuality, fearing Hollywood would shut its doors if he confirmed them. His silence came from pain, not shame. When he finally came out, it wasn't for headlines, it was for healing. Wentworth's story revealed how even in modern times, being black and gay in Hollywood could still feel like walking on thin ice. 16. Don Lemon. Don Lemon's smooth confidence on screen made him one of television's most respected voices. But before he found comfort in his truth, he hid a part of himself from the world. Working in mainstream media, especially as a black man, came with invisible expectations to be strong, safe, and uncontroversial. Speaking openly about his sexuality felt too risky. So, for years, Don carried that silence, building his career carefully. Eventually, he decided he could no longer hide behind professionalism. His courage to live honestly marked a turning point, showing that truth doesn't weaken credibility, and it deepens it. Don's journey became proof that acceptance often starts with self-love. 15. RuPaul. Before RuPaul became the global symbol of confidence and freedom, he had to hide behind makeup, wigs, and a character to survive. In the early years, being both black and gay in entertainment meant rejection at every door. So he built his own stage, one sequin at a time, until the world had no choice but to notice. Behind the glamour, though, was a man who knew what it felt like to hide, to edit himself just to be accepted. Over time, his visibility turned into a movement. RuPaul showed that the very thing he once concealed could later make him an icon of authenticity. 14. Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean changed music with his haunting voice and emotional lyrics, but even more powerful was the truth he kept hidden for years. At the height of his fame, he shocked the world with an open letter revealing that his first love was a man. Until then, he had stayed silent, fearing how fans and the industry would react. That quiet confession wasn't a publicity move, it was liberation. Frank's honesty gave a voice to countless young black men who felt they had to hide the same truth. His courage proved that vulnerability could be louder than any beat or melody. 13. Todrick Hall. Todrick Hall's story is one of relentless creativity and quiet battles. Before he became a YouTube star and Broadway performer, he was just another talented dreamer, afraid to show his full self. As a young black performer, he learned early that being openly gay could close more doors than it opened. So he softened his image, stayed quiet, and played by Hollywood's unspoken rules. But silence didn't suit him for long. Through his music videos and performances, he started telling the stories he once hid. His art became his way of reclaiming power, proving that no amount of prejudice can silence a person who finally decides to live out loud. 12. Kevin Abstract. Kevin Abstract burst into fame with the hip-hop group Brockhampton, redefining what it means to be young, creative, and unapologetically queer in modern music. But that confidence didn't come easy. Growing up in Texas, he faced rejection and fear, so when success came, he still hesitated to show his true self. In the early years, he avoided interviews about his sexuality, afraid it would change how people saw his art. Over time, he stopped hiding, speaking openly through his songs instead of statements. His bravery made him a voice for a new generation of black artists who refused to choose between identity and ambition. 11. Andre Leon Talley. Andre Leon Talley ruled the fashion world with elegance, authority, and unmatched taste. He walked beside icons, shaping the industry's look for decades. Yet, behind his towering presence and booming voice, he carried a quiet sadness. As a gay black man raised in the conservative South, he learned to protect his private life fiercely. The fashion world celebrated his genius, but never offered him space to be vulnerable. He hid pain behind glamour, loneliness behind power. Later in life, he spoke more freely about his struggles, showing that even brilliance can feel isolated when authenticity isn't fully accepted. His legacy shines brighter for the truth he eventually embraced. 10. Tevin Campbell. In the 90s, Tevin Campbell's voice could melt hearts. He was young, gifted, and on top of the R&B world. But success came with silence. The industry wasn't ready for a black male star to be anything other than the perfect heartthrob. Rumors followed him for years, but he kept quiet, afraid of losing everything he worked for. Decades later, when he finally confirmed he was gay, fans didn't turn away, they celebrated him. The fear that once controlled his life vanished, replaced by peace and pride. Tevin's story became proof that the truth may take time, but when it comes, it brings freedom. 9. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett's rise through the hit series Empire made him one of the most talked-about actors on television. But before fame, he lived in silence about his sexuality, terrified that being open could end his career before it began. Hollywood's history of sidelining openly gay black men kept him cautious. When he finally came out, it was a moment of empowerment, though later controversies clouded his image. Still, his earlier courage mattered. It opened conversations about representation and visibility. Jussie's journey showed the complicated balance between fame, identity, and truth, in an industry that loves talent but often fears authenticity. 8. Billy Porter. Billy Porter's voice and presence are larger than life, but the confidence he carries today was once buried beneath fear. Early in his career, he learned that Hollywood wasn't kind to men who didn't fit its mold of masculinity. He tried to tone down his style and hide his sexuality, afraid that being himself would cost him every opportunity. Years of rejection nearly broke him until he decided he had nothing left to lose. When Billy finally embraced his truth, the world noticed. His talent shone brighter, his performances deeper. The same industry that once turned him away now celebrates him as one of its boldest, most authentic stars. 7. Jerrod Carmichael. Jerrod Carmichael built a reputation as a sharp, fearless comedian, but behind the laughter was a man living in silence. Growing up in a strict environment, he learned early that being gay wasn't something you talked about, so he didn't. As his career grew, the fear followed him. Every success came with the pressure to keep that secret buried. It wasn't until his HBO special Rothaniel that he finally opened up about his truth. The moment was raw and unfiltered, a release years in the making. Jared's honesty didn't just change his career, it reshaped how comedy could deal with vulnerability and identity. 6. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry built an empire with his Madea films, turning himself into one of the most powerful men in entertainment. But behind the success and the laughter, rumors about his sexuality have followed him for years. Hollywood's fascination with his private life grew louder, yet he remained silent. He's never confirmed or denied anything, preferring to let his work speak for him. Some say that silence came from caution, knowing how easily the world can judge a black man who doesn't fit its expectations. Regardless, his journey shows the pressure many face to protect their image in a business that thrives on speculation. 5. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah has done it all: rapper, actress, producer, and trailblazer. But for decades, she kept her personal life completely off limits. From her earliest days in hip-hop, she knew how harsh the world could be toward openly gay artists, especially black women. So she focused on her craft, building a career of power and respect while staying silent about her relationships. Only years later did she begin to live more openly, acknowledging her truth without making it a spectacle. Her quiet confidence spoke louder than any announcement ever could. Queen Latifah proved that privacy isn't denial, it's survival in an industry built on judgment. 4. Alvin Ailey. Alvin Ailey revolutionized dance with passion and depth that came from a deeply personal place. Yet behind the grace of his choreography lay a life shaped by secrecy. As a gay black man in the mid-20th century, he couldn't risk being open about who he was. His art became his voice, filled with coded expressions of love, pain, and identity. The world celebrated his genius, but few knew the loneliness he carried. When he passed away in 1989, his death from AIDS-related complications revealed the struggles he had long kept hidden. Ailey's story remains a powerful symbol of courage lived quietly. 3. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross had one of the most beautiful voices the world had ever heard. His songs spoke of love, longing, and heartbreak, but never revealed the person behind the feelings. Throughout his career, he kept his personal life strictly private. In an era when being gay could destroy a singer's image, Luther chose silence over risk. Rumors swirled for years, but he stayed focused on his music, pouring emotion into every lyric as if it were the only safe place to speak. After his passing, friends quietly confirmed what he never could. Luther's story remains one of unmatched talent, shadowed by the heavy cost of hiding one's truth. 2. Little Richard. Little Richard was a wild, unstoppable force who helped shape rock and roll itself. His energy, voice, and style were revolutionary, but so was his inner conflict. Openly expressive one moment and deeply religious the next, he spent much of his life torn between acceptance and denial. In a time when being both black and gay meant rejection from all sides, he tried to balance faith, fame, and identity. His music screamed freedom, even when he couldn't live it fully. Though his words about sexuality shifted over the years, one thing stayed clear. Little Richard's brilliance came from a spirit too bold to ever truly hide. 1. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor's comedy changed the world, raw, fearless, and painfully honest. But even the man who laughed through life's darkest moments kept secrets of his own. In later years, Pryor admitted to having relationships with men, shocking fans who once saw him only as a ladies' man. His openness came long after decades of silence and internal conflict. The industry that praised his bravery on stage never made space for the kind of honesty he finally shared. Beneath the jokes was a man who carried both pain and truth with unmatched courage. Richard Pryor's story reminds us that even legends can live years behind a mask before finally revealing their real selves. So now that you've seen the truth behind the smiles and the secrets that shape their lives, one question remains: how many more stars are still hiding their real selves just to protect their fame? In a world that celebrates talent but fears truth, their stories remind us how heavy the price of silence can be. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, share it with others who love uncovering Hollywood's hidden stories, and don't forget to subscribe because there's a lot more the industry doesn't want you to know. Hollywood loves the spotlight, but the truth often hides in the shadows. When some of the most iconic black actors left this world, shocking secrets began to surface. Stories of silent battles, hidden sacrifices, and behind-the-scenes struggles that no one saw while the cameras were rolling. These were the faces that inspired generations, yet their pain often stayed buried until it was too late. From untold health battles to injustices covered up by the industry, here are 20 things we only learned after black actors died. 20. Chadwick Boseman's silent battle. Chadwick Boseman's passing in 2020 revealed something few could ever imagine. While fans celebrated his powerful roles in Black Panther, 42, and Marshall, he was quietly enduring grueling cancer treatments. He kept his diagnosis private, never letting illness overshadow his art or the stories he wanted to tell. Even during exhausting chemotherapy sessions, he chose to film action-packed scenes that demanded both physical strength and emotional intensity. Colleagues later shared how he never complained, carrying himself with dignity and focus. His silence wasn't a weakness, it was a powerful choice to protect his privacy and inspire millions through his work. Only after his death did the world realize the unimaginable weight he carried, teaching us about resilience, strength, and the cost of unspoken battles. 19. Michael Clarke Duncan's financial struggles. Michael Clarke Duncan, best known for his Oscar-nominated role in The Green Mile, seemed larger than life. His warm personality and booming presence made him unforgettable on screen. Yet, after he died in 2012, painful truths emerged. Despite earning fame and wealth, Duncan faced financial mismanagement that left him vulnerable. Reports revealed that people close to him took advantage of his generosity, draining resources he had worked so hard for. Behind his joyful smile was a man who struggled to protect himself from betrayal. This reality painted a new picture of Duncan not just as a gentle giant in film, but also as someone who endured deep personal challenges. His story reminded fans that even the brightest stars can be left unprotected in a world full of hidden pitfalls. 18. Cicely Tyson's unheard stories. Cicely Tyson's passing in 2021 opened the door to stories the world had never fully heard. Known as a trailblazer for black women in Hollywood, her life seemed polished and untouchable. But her memoir, released shortly before her death, revealed decades of pain, rejection, and constant battles against Hollywood's narrow view of black actresses. She fought to break stereotypes, often refusing roles that demeaned black women, even when it meant losing opportunities. Tyson carried herself with grace, yet behind the elegance were struggles she rarely spoke about. After her death, her words allowed people to understand the sacrifices she made and the emotional toll of being a pioneer. What was once unseen became clear. Her fight was far greater than her fame. 17. Bernie Mac's misdiagnosed illness. When Bernie Mac died in 2008, fans were shocked by how sudden it seemed. The world lost a comedy giant whose sharp humor and unforgettable presence made him one of the most beloved entertainers of his time. After his death, the truth about his long fight with sarcoidosis came into focus. Many had no idea he lived with this rare inflammatory disease for years, as he often downplayed its seriousness. Doctors and family later revealed that complications and mismanagement worsened his condition, leading to his untimely passing. His death shed light on the hidden struggles of chronic illness, showing that even those who bring endless laughter to millions can be privately suffering in silence. Bernie Mac's story became a sobering reminder of invisible battles. 16. Whitney Houston's pressure in film. Whitney Houston's legacy as one of the greatest voices in history is undeniable, but after her passing in 2012, new stories highlighted the crushing pressures she faced while stepping into acting. Her role in The Bodyguard became a cultural phenomenon, but behind the scenes, Whitney wrestled with insecurities and constant criticism from Hollywood executives who doubted her acting ability. Balancing a booming music career with sudden film stardom weighed heavily on her. Insiders revealed the exhausting expectations placed on her shoulders and how they intensified her already turbulent personal struggles. Her death reminded the world of how fragile even the brightest stars can be, and how much hidden strain is carried by those forced to live up to impossible standards. 15. Paul Winfield's private struggles. Paul Winfield, celebrated for roles in films like Sounder and The Terminator, was praised for his versatility and depth on screen. Yet, after he died in 2004, truths about his private life became more widely known. Winfield had quietly battled health challenges, including complications from diabetes. But what struck many was the revelation of his struggles with HIV. At a time when stigma was heavy, he kept much of his personal life private, focusing instead on his craft. His passing revealed the quiet courage it took to maintain dignity while living with secrets he rarely shared. The world learned not just of his immense talent, but also the heavy burdens he bore away from the spotlight. His story became one of resilience amid silence. 14. Diahann Carroll's quiet trailblazing. Diahann Carroll was known as a glamorous star who broke barriers on television with her groundbreaking role in Julia. But after her passing in 2019, more stories came forward about the uphill battles she fought in Hollywood. Carroll often faced subtle but powerful resistance from executives who doubted audiences would embrace a black woman in leading roles. She carried herself with poise, yet privately endured the weight of being a pioneer in an industry that rarely welcomed diversity. Friends and colleagues later revealed how fiercely she fought behind closed doors for representation, even when it cost her opportunities. After her death, the full scope of her courage was recognized, showing the sacrifices she made so others could one day walk through the same doors. 13. Gregory Hines' hidden illness. Gregory Hines dazzled audiences with his unmatched tap dancing and charismatic acting. His energy seemed limitless, making his death in 2003 a heartbreaking shock. Only afterward did people learn that he had been quietly battling liver cancer, a struggle he chose to keep private. He continued to perform and inspire others, never allowing illness to overshadow his artistry. Friends later shared how his strength and determination kept him moving forward, even in his final days. The revelation painted a deeper picture of Hines not only as an entertainer, but as a man of incredible willpower who kept giving joy to others while enduring pain. His passing taught the world about the resilience behind the rhythm and the hidden strength within his shining career. 12. Eartha Kitt's outspoken activism. Eartha Kitt captivated audiences with her sultry voice and fierce personality, but after she died in 2008, many people discovered the heavy price she paid for speaking her mind. In the 1960s, she publicly criticized the Vietnam War, and as a result, she was blacklisted by Hollywood and even monitored by government agencies. Much of this history resurfaced after her passing, reminding the world of how she risked her career to stand by her convictions. For decades, she lived with the consequences, often forced to work overseas when U.S. doors closed on her. Though celebrated for her artistry, it was her bravery that shone brighter in retrospect. After she died, her story became not just one of talent, but of fearless defiance against injustice. 11. Sherman Hemsley's secret life. Sherman Hemsley brought laughter to millions as George Jefferson, yet after he died in 2012, surprising details about his personal life came to light. Despite fame and success, Hemsley lived quietly and somewhat reclusively, often avoiding the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Friends described him as eccentric, enjoying solitude and private spiritual practices that fans never saw. His death also sparked a lengthy legal battle over his estate, revealing how unprepared he had been for the complexities of fame and money. These revelations shifted how people saw him beyond the loud comedic character. He was a deeply private man who valued peace over attention. The contrast between his on-screen persona and his real life became more striking only after his passing. 10. Ruby Dee's letters and activism. Ruby Dee was admired as an actress, but after she died in 2014, her personal letters and stories revealed an even deeper side. Beyond her performances, she had been a powerful voice in civil rights, working tirelessly alongside her husband, Ossie Davis. She wrote speeches, organized protests, and quietly mentored younger generations of black performers. Many of these details only came to light after her passing, when tributes and documents showed just how much she sacrificed for justice. Her work wasn't limited to the screen. She fought in real-life battles that shaped history. The world learned that Ruby Dee's legacy stretched far beyond acting. She wasn't only an artist, but a force for change, carrying struggles that often remained hidden while she lived. 9. John Witherspoon's comedy sacrifices. John Witherspoon's death in 2019 revealed just how much he gave to comedy behind the scenes. Known for his hilarious roles in Friday and the Boondocks, he was beloved for his energy and delivery. But after his passing, comedians shared stories about how Witherspoon quietly helped younger performers, often without recognition. He gave advice, opened doors, and sacrificed opportunities so others could shine. What fans saw as a funny, father-like figure was also a mentor who carried heavy responsibility. He endured the grind of the entertainment industry for decades, often underpaid compared to his peers, yet he never stopped giving. After his death, the world saw the bigger picture. His laughter wasn't just entertainment, it was a gift built on sacrifice and quiet dedication. 8. Ossie Davis's unshakable convictions. Ossie Davis was a respected actor, but after he died in 2005, the depth of his activism became even more apparent. He wasn't just taking roles, he was choosing projects that aligned with his beliefs, often turning down opportunities if they didn't reflect dignity for Black characters. Stories resurfaced about how he spoke at Malcolm X's funeral, how he pushed for equality on and off the screen, and how he mentored younger voices. His career wasn't easy, and he lost chances because he refused to compromise his values. These truths became clearer after his passing, showing that Davis lived with unshakable principles. His death highlighted how much he gave to both art and activism, leaving behind lessons that extended far beyond film. 7. Thomas Michael Ford's silent health decline. Best remembered as Tommy from the hit sitcom Martin, Thomas Michael Ford's death in 2016 shocked fans. He was known for his warm smile and easy charm, but after his passing, it became clear that he had been dealing with serious health problems. He had long struggled with issues like high blood pressure, which eventually led to complications that took his life. Friends later shared that Ford rarely spoke about his health challenges, keeping much of it private, while continuing to inspire others with motivational speaking and community work. His death revealed how silently he carried these burdens, showing that even while making others laugh, he was facing struggles of his own. Fans learned a deeper truth about the battles behind his joy. 6. Natalie Desselle-Reid's overlooked talent. Natalie Desselle-Reid's death in 2020 left fans heartbroken, and it also revealed just how underappreciated she had been in Hollywood. Best known for roles in BAP's Cinderella and Eve, she had a gift for comedy and warmth that lit up the screen. Yet after her passing, many reflected on how little recognition she truly received during her career. Friends and co-stars shared stories of her kindness, professionalism, and the energy she brought to every set. Her death reminded people of the quiet struggles many talented Black actresses face in an industry that often overlooks them. Natalie's passing brought overdue appreciation for her work, making audiences realize she should have been celebrated far more while she was alive. 5. Esther Rolle's fight for representation. Esther Rolle, known for her role as Florida Evans in Good Times, was a strong advocate for authentic portrayals of Black families. After she died in 1998, more stories emerged about how tirelessly she fought for dignity on television. She often clashed with producers over stereotypical storylines, demanding better representation for Black culture and family life. Many didn't know how much she sacrificed behind the scenes to keep harmful portrayals off the air. Her passing made clear that she wasn't just acting, she was actively shaping television history. Esther Rolle's courage revealed itself most fully after her death, reminding people that her impact was not only in her performances, but in her determination to create real, respectful images of Black life. 4. Yaphet Kotto's Hollywood struggles. Yaphet Kotto, remembered for roles in Alien and Live and Let Die, had a career filled with groundbreaking parts. But after he died in 2021, troubling stories about his Hollywood experience resurfaced. He spoke openly about the racism he faced, but it was only after he was gone that the full scope of his struggles came to light. Casting directors often overlooked him for leading roles, despite his undeniable talent and commanding presence. Friends recalled how he endured constant typecasting, forced into roles that rarely reflected his range. His death highlighted the painful reality of how systemic barriers limited even the most gifted Black actors. Kotto's story, revealed more deeply after his passing, exposed Hollywood's long history of shutting out deserving talent. 3. Roxy Roker's groundbreaking impact. Roxy Roker became a television pioneer as Helen Willis on The Jeffersons, where she played one half of one of the first interracial couples shown on primetime television. At the time, the role stirred controversy, but after she died in 1995, people began to understand the enormous weight she carried as a trailblazer. Colleagues later shared that she was fully aware of the backlash, yet pushed forward, knowing how important the representation was. Her death reminded audiences that she wasn't just a performer, but a bold figure who challenged social norms through her work. Roxy's legacy became clearer after her passing, showing that her courage helped break barriers and reshape television history in ways that would influence generations of actors to come. 2. Clarence Williams III's hidden legacy. Clarence Williams III, famous for his breakout role in the Mod Squad, was long admired for his intense screen presence. But after he died in 2021, fans and critics realized how much of his influence had gone unnoticed during his life. Tributes poured in, highlighting how his performances shaped television and film, especially in breaking stereotypes of black men in leading roles. He inspired countless actors with his boldness, yet Hollywood often failed to give him the recognition he deserved. His passing reminded people that he was far more than a supporting player. He was a quiet revolutionary. Only after his death did the industry fully acknowledge the groundbreaking mark he left behind, cementing him as a true force in entertainment history. 1. Sidney Poitier's untold burdens. Sidney Poitier's death in 2022 closed the chapter on one of Hollywood's greatest stories. As the first black man to win an Oscar for Best Actor, he symbolized progress, but after his passing, tributes revealed the immense weight he carried. He was constantly expected to represent an entire race, choosing roles carefully to avoid reinforcing stereotypes. Behind the elegance and grace, he bore pressures few could imagine, every decision judged not only as an actor, but as a symbol of change. His death revealed the loneliness of being a pioneer, a man who shouldered history on his back. While celebrated for his achievements, the world finally understood the heavy burden he lived with, making his victories even more extraordinary in retrospect. Behind the fame, the glamour, and the unforgettable performances, these actors carried struggles, secrets, and sacrifices that only came to light after their deaths. Which of these stories moved you the most? And which actor's hidden truth do you think the world needs to hear louder? If you want more untold stories of Hollywood's hidden past, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the next deep dive.